Alright, so we're talking about what's going on in Portland, mainly if they're going to get rid of Damian Lillard anytime now. I know the grit, the grind, and the loyalty is a big thing, but look, it's time to move on. Also, really quickly, I just wanted to kind of highlight this, not highlight it, but just kind of mention in passing. I'm in a Dynasty League on Sleeper, and with a bunch of my friends, and I just made this trade, and I just want to get you guys' opinion on it. I did Anthony Simons for D'Angelo Russell. I got Anthony Simons and I gave up D'Angelo Russell. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. If we can get to 30 subs by the end of the semester, I'm still talking like I'm in college. If we get 30 subs by the time February ends, that would be amazing. We're halfway through February. We're at 20 subs. We're 10 away. Honestly, first off, thank you for 20 subs. Second, if we can get to 30 subs, that would be awesome. I would love it. But anyways, let's get back to Portland and their situation. Right now, Portland isn't doing that hot. I mean, they're currently 10th. They're pretty much fighting with, I guess maybe you can throw in San Antonio and New Orleans into that for that last play-in spot. They're sitting at 10th right now. They made the CJ McCollum trade, which I think honestly came with the emergence of Anthony Simons, which is a prospect I've honestly been high on. I think he was drafted in the early 20s a few years ago. He out of IMG. He looks solid. He looks solid coming out of IMG, and I think definitely we're going to be talking about him as a steal of the draft coming up. I think if I remember correctly, he's actually played all right, and now he's just exploded onto this scene, given that he has the opportunity with Dame out and now CJ gone. Norman Powell and Robert Covington getting traded to the Clippers. That's a move that obviously clearly indicates that, look, we know what the cap situation is going to be like going into next season for Portland. This season's going to be a wash. They're probably going to have a top 10 pick. They're going to be in the lottery. I think they have a couple other picks. I don't know if they have any protections on it, but I know they definitely have a couple other picks that they could use in trades to get Damian Lillard another superstar. The issue is that you have all this cap. We've seen this happen before. They have all this cap, and what they do with it, they sign Allen Crabbe to a max contract. Yes, I know that's because the salary cap inflated heavily and then crashed. I mean, look, my own team, the Miami Heat, were guilty of this. We paid Tyler Johnson 4 years, $50 million. Deion Waiters and James Johnson got both 4 years, $84 million. Obviously, a lot of people overpaid. Hell, fucking the Charlotte Hornets gave Nicholas Batum a 5-year, $105 million contract. All right, or 125, even worse. Honestly, everyone was guilty of overpaying players. And Portland especially, I mean, they overpaid. And I think also giving up a guy like Larry Nance, I think could have been a nice addition to whatever roster you're trying to build. I think with Damian Lillard, though, the question is yes, I understand that he wants to stay. I understand that the loyalty is in Portland right now. But there were speculation during the USA gold medal, during the Olympics during the Olympics, that he was going to leave. That it was gone, like he wanted to go. Honestly, a lot of people clowned because it was like he was playing with Kevin Durant. But he wanted to leave. There was a point where he wanted to leave, where he wanted to go. Or that's where the reports were coming out. So, it might be that, look, Damian Lillard wants to stay. But do Portland really want to go through this? Where, look, if you look at the West, it's very top-heavy right now. But once, the Clippers come back healthy, I think, honestly, Utah's kind of suffering a little bit. And I think they probably could make a move this offseason. And I know the whole Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, which I'm going to cover soon, is still an issue. What could happen is I honestly think that it shouldn't be on Portland to keep Damian Lillard or wait for Damian Lillard to leave. Yes, I know he's on a supermax, and it's kind of hard to trade a supermax. We saw that with John Wall. We saw that with Russell Westbrook this past trade deadline, which I will cover in another video because that is something major to talk about. So stick around and subscribe and turn on post notifications when I talk about those. But what's crazy about this is we're seeing Portland kind of implode. And I think it's more so indicative of the fact that they think they're going to attract top-level free agents this offseason, when in fact, they can't. They don't have the market, and Damian Lillard has been quoted saying that he wants to play with guys like Ben Simmons. Well, Ben Simmons is not on the market anymore. He just got traded to Brooklyn. He just got traded for James Harden. So how, who are they going to target? And quite frankly, I think at this point, you look at Nurkic and you look at Dame and you just say, it is what it is. It is what it is. We got to move on. You could get assets for both of them. You still could. I mean, look, I think Damian Lillard's value is still very high, especially for a team like you talk about New York. I don't think they would give up RJ Barrett, for example, but I think if you made a pack, I think they would give a package of like Quickly, Robinson, and multiple first rounders. Now that they have some to spare, or no, they don't. Or Julius Randle, right? That could be a package. I think you possibly look at a team maybe like, I don't know. I just don't know you. I just know New York because that was just off the top of my head. Possibly Washington to maybe Kristaps gets flipped again. That could be a move. I really didn't think about this too much. Maybe possibly if they keep him out west, it could flipping him for Westbrook. I guess. I mean, look. There has to be a move that happens, or maybe Dallas, getting Luka another co-star. You can flip Dinwiddie or Brunson, or sign and trade Brunson. You could do something like that. I mean, look, there's a lot of things that Portland can do, but the main thing right now is figuring out what your identity is. And look, they could spend in the offseason and they could attract free agents, but honestly, I think presently constructed, they're not even a top 5 team. They're not a top 5 team, and especially going into next season when, a lot of West teams could get better and probably will get better. I don't even know if they, qualify. They might only qualify the playoffs through the play-in tournament. And look, that's just, I think, indicative of the fact that they don't have an identity. They don't, and I think honestly they're too scared to tank or to rebuild because they're such a small market team, and that they don't have the attractability of free agents. But at the same time, we see a team like Memphis, another small market team, do really well in the draft. I mean, getting John Morant, getting Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, solid contributors. Jaren Jackson Jr. is another one. Making solid moves. And look, now they're the 3rd seed. We've seen teams rebuild through the draft and be successful. But what Portland is doing is just not that. And I think they're clinging on to the fact that Damian Lillard is still there. And I think they have to let Damian Lillard go. I think it's as simple as that. Like, you could make a move next offseason to ship out Nurkic and Lillard to get some valuable draft capital back and really make, this a tank season. But look, I know there's a lot of issues going on with the front office. I know that was already been covered. I don't want to talk about that. But look, I think Portland, I think it's time for them to move on with the Damian Lillard era. They moved on for CJ McCollum, which honestly, like I said, was due to Anthony Simons' emergence as a solid contributor on this team. I mean, he's dropping 30 bombs left and right. So honestly, I think it makes sense to move on from CJ McCollum, especially getting some assets back. But look, this team definitely needs to start looking itself in the mirror and say, look, we need to move on from what we got. Because quite frankly, what we got right now is not working. And unless this offseason goes well for them, like they get another co-star for Damian Lillard, they spend right in free agency, I think we could possibly see a mid-season trade. We saw the big trade with James Harden. Damian Lillard could be the next big trade this time next year. But anyways, like I said, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers situation. I know he's hurt, and I know that's kind of affecting their season, but look, I still don't think they're in a position to even consider this a season anymore, even if Damian Lillard comes back. Again, let me know in the comment sections down below what you guys think. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. Take it easy, have a good one, and peace.